being a mother doesn't, the state can't take that from you. So you write letters, you FaceTime, you do whatever you can to keep that connection. And then the Lord will restore that, because we serve a God of restoration. And so as a mother, you really need to believe in that. You need to know that nobody's ever going to be able to take that away. And then you focus on growing that, and it'll get better. I believe in that. I have to believe in that.
Have you or someone you know had your life turned upside down because of your past?
Of course I have.
Everyone does background checks now, which makes it hard to bounce back.
What do you believe?
I believe your background shouldn't hold you back. It should pay you back. This podcast will inspire you, motivate you, and inform you with everything you need to rise above your past and not be afraid to say, go ahead, check my background. My name is J.Dan Gum, and this is Background Check.
You already know. Let's go. You can check my background. I'm a forgiving felon, so tell them that I won't back down. No, you can bet I won't live in regret. It's time to earn some respect. You are tuning in to Background Check.
Hey everyone, welcome to Background Check Podcast, where we believe your background shouldn't hold you back, it should pay you back. Brought to you by Forgiven Felons, helping people with the past realize their future. So thank you for tuning in this week. This is one of two special Mother's Day episodes. We love the Mother's Day episodes. Usually my kids are on here talking about their mother, and my wife's on here, but this year we have two special guests, and this episode is our very first one. And we're excited. Don't forget to go check out Jess's episodes, though, on our YouTube channel or Podbean or Apple Podcasts, because she's not on these guest episodes anymore. So if you don't go watch her, she's going to be sad and upset. So go watch her. And thank you. Whether you're watching on the NCIC tablets and county jails all across the nation, whether you're watching on the Adovo app or the podcast app, the OG, the original app that we were on a long time ago when we started in 2020. But I think we were on the tablets in 2021. Thank you for listening, watching, whatever you do. It wouldn't be the same without you. And so we're thankful for all of you who listen and watch and get out and come share your story, which is what Sarah is doing today. So today in studio, we have a very special guest. She's been out. Well, I'll let her tell you how long she's been out. But eventually, not right when she got out, but eventually she messaged me and let us know what an impact the podcast had on her life. And then from there, we actually have our organization, our ministry has, kind of got her to do some work for the ranch, which you will see soon. And we'll talk about that. But Sarah, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You used to watch this, right?
I used to watch this, bro, like sitting in my bunk, trying to, figure things out. Yeah, I used to watch this while I was inside. Yeah.
Now, what is there an episode that stood out, or multiple episodes? If you don't say one with Jessa, she's going to be upset. But
yeah, definitely with Jessa, because I was missing my girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. So being able to see her, it helps my heart. It helps my soul. So being able to watch y'all together, that was amazing. So.
We had so many people write in from all over the nation that talked in that same language and said, you just don't know what it's like to have, to be able to see you and your daughter working together in ministry, basically. Yeah. And Jessa looked like she likes it, not being forced to do it.
Yeah.
And so, I told Jessa knows now. She's to the age now where she knows. She's been doing this for 5 years, but she's 13 now, and she knows that, because I'll let her read the letters. And she's like,
I wrote y'all a letter.
Yeah.
From Plain State.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, I get so many. So
yeah.
You wrote a letter. Yeah. Was it e-message or?
No, I wrote you a letter, and you
I shouted it out.
You did.
Okay. I did.
Yeah.
I did.
You set yourself up. Yeah, you sent me a message.
So, all right. So why did you wait so long to get a hold of us when you got out?
I think I was a little intimidated when I got out.
Okay.
You're the first person I reached out to.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So you waited, because how long have you been out now?
Since December 2nd of 2025.
So a year and a half, almost.
No, just almost 6 months.
6 months?
6 months.
Oh. Why did I think you were out longer than that?
I don't know.
You got out December.
I've hustled.
Okay. All right. I don't know why. I thought. It
Yeah.
was longer. Okay, so you haven't been out that long. All right, I gotta make sure I go back and tell everybody because I've been telling people you've been out longer.
That's okay.
But still, you waited
Yeah.
over a month,
I
right?
know,
January,
yeah.
I think, is when you
Yeah.
finally. That's all right.
Yeah.
We're not offended. Okay. Well, that's cool. That changes my mindset perspective on
Yeah.
the timing of what you've done, been able to do in such a short amount of time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because what are you doing right now?
Right now I'm working with Texas Prisons Alliance.
Okay. What do you do with them?
So I'm the family facilitator for Region 6. I have 11 units under me. What I do with them is when a loved one needs help advocating, they'll send what's called an RFA, a request for assistance,
Right.
and they'll let us know what's going on with their loved one. It'll be sent to my team, then it gets sent to me, and we bounce it against policy. We start to advocate for them if there's something we can do. I send a bunch of emails,
So now where is Region 6?
Gatesville.
Gatesville. Okay, yeah. All right. Now, where was Plain?
Plain State, that's down by Houston. I have Plain under me too,
Okay.
but yeah, a lot
Okay,
of
so all the Gatesville. Shout out to all the Gatesville units, Region
Gatesville,
6.
Hilltop. So all
Yeah.
some of the girls that I did time with, yeah, I'm able to advocate for them now on the outside. Like I have the ability now.
How long did you do?
Almost 2 years.
And all at Plain?
No, 4 months at Plain, the rest at Hilltop Trustee Camp.
Okay. I've spoken at Hilltop Trustee Camp a long time ago.
Yeah, that
Long
place
time
is
ago.
powerful.
On the gym, outdoor in the rec yard.
Yeah,
That's where I spoke.
Yeah,
And it was so neat that night. It was like 2013, 14, something like that.
yeah,
And it was an evening service.
yeah.
And it was nice and cool. It was springtime. And it was kind of cloudy, so it wasn't really hot. So it was, I think it was always like, we always went there like in May. And so it started getting, it was hotter. It was a little hot, but then all of a sudden the clouds came over and it was just this beautiful dark gray. It wasn't
Yeah.
a dark, it wasn't like a bad looking dark. It was just like because there's some gray that's really to get you down. And then there's just a gray that's just like soothing.
Yeah.
There's something about a soothing gray. And the clouds that surrounded, and then you talk about how the presence of God in the Old Testament was
Yes.
represented by clouds, but also when you talk about clouds of witnesses and just how clouds are in the Bible, and then you're out there. I'm preaching on a rec yard, outdoor rec with, I don't remember. It was a lot of chairs. I don't remember how many Hilltop ladies were, but a
Yeah.
couple hundred maybe.
We have 200 on the unit, 212 beds.
Yeah. So it was. I think all of them were out there.
Yeah,
'Cause it was pretty
probably
big.
because they're hungry. Yeah.
So, all right, let's don't go back to prison yet. What else you do?
So with Texas Prisons Alliance, we just launched the Second Chance Initiative. It's a new program we're doing. We're going to have a podcast twice a month. It's just going to be on the Endovo to the ones on the inside. And what we're going to do, it's a team of, right now it's a team of 6. Tatiana is the founder of TPA, and she's amazing. She's really good about getting behind people and sending them out to do good work. And so she's created this team, put us together. We're all newly released. I'm the only one on the team that doesn't have an ankle monitor. And so we're talking about re-entry, what we've gone through. We're helping pretty much others navigate that. And each one of us, like Charlie wants to do education and JP wants to do something else. I want to do housing. I want to learn about housing because a lot of the stuff that I heard while I was in there is a lot of these women don't have anywhere to go.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's getting harder and harder to find. 14 years ago when we started the transitional house, we couldn't find people $8 an hour jobs, but we could find a place to live like crazy.
Yeah.
Everybody would take them.
Yeah.
Everybody would take felons. It's flipped. Now we can get them $20 an hour jobs right out the gate.
Yeah, because nobody wants to work.
But we can't find any place for them to live. Even places that we've had established connections with over the years
Yeah.
have all of a sudden it changed property management hands or whatever, and they're like, oh, we don't take felons anymore. And so it's just it's tough, and that's why we're doing things what we're doing out at the ranch, and we're excited about whatever y'all are going to get going because anybody and everybody that can help with the housing part is needed.
Yes, yeah, because you're expected to. You go down, you do your time, you turn. I mean, like you're held accountable. You come out like rebirth, really. The things you have to go through in there. Some of your best employees are going to come out of prison. And you're expected to come out, but if you don't have anywhere to land and like with these new tools and this new way of thinking and stuff like that, like I don't understand how they expect the recidivism not to be sky high, because you can go back to prison and get 3 meals in a cot, you know, and your meds.
I know.
You know, so I don't understand. There's a lot of things that I don't understand that I want to find answers to.
Ooh, well, I've been dealing with TDCJ for 23 years now. I just celebrated 20 years out, April 18th. But I went in 23 years ago, and I've been trying to understand the system for that long. And I've given up trying to understand. I'm not going to give up trying to fight and shift things and try to change things. But, man, it's getting so hard. Advocacy competes with, I want to say, greed or, you know, profit, bottom line profit.
Right.
That's what advocacy, because if they're making a lot of money, why change anything?
Right. Yeah.
And if we can, as any business, okay, as any business, there's an acceptable amount of things that go wrong because so many other things are going right and you're making a lot of money. So you're like, maybe we just don't bother with that.
Yes.
Maybe we'll never be able to change that, so we're not even going to try to address it. Yeah. And I think that that list of things that aren't getting addressed because the bottom line profit is so good, that list is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And so that's why I'm glad more advocacy. 20 years ago when I got out of prison, there was only TIFA. TIFA, Texas Inmate Family Association. That was it. There wasn't anything else. You know, but now we have all these things and you're involved in what else do you do? You're involved in Prison Fellowship?
Prison Fellowship. So I'm an ambassador for Prison Fellowship, and that's more on a delegate level. So right now I have a year. At the end of the year, we go to Virginia and we have this workshop. And so pretty much we push legislation whenever we can try to get passed. And that's kind of... I'm learning that one. I'm more involved in TPA right now because it's more on the ground. I feel like I have more momentum in that direction. But yeah, Prison Fellowship. I also have Kairos Ministry. Because so the Kairos Walk, when I was in there, that was amazing for me.
What unit were you on when you did that?
Hilltop.
Okay.
Hilltop, yeah. Yeah. The women...
What did Kairos mean to you?
Oh, it gave me my name back. Okay. First of all, because when you're in there, you're a number. And when I walked in this place, they bring free world or real food in there.
Yeah.
And I remember the first night was kind of a meet and greet. And they want you to eat from this platter. And I had my plate and I was so scared to eat these carrots and like the fruit, the grapes, the yogurt, like just it makes you feel like a person again. And so they start with that, like real food, and then they the next few days they're just so much love, and just making you feel like you're worthy, and also giving you the tools. Like they actually do like small groups and just a way of thinking and understanding, and the way they've built the Kairos, not just the way they've built the material, but the women they put in it to do the work. They are called. They're so impactful.
So how involved are you going to be with them? Like, are you going to go and do all the stuff?
Yes. So I want to. Right now, you can't go back into prison for 2 years.
Right.
So I can't go in. And I was going to go. They just had a Kairos walk in March that I missed because I couldn't.
Are you sure it's 2? I thought it was 18 months.
No, I'm not sure. So I need to learn that.
Double check. I think it's 18 months.
Okay. So I missed the one in March, but I can be on the outside team. So the one, because they do it at Hilltop, they do it twice a year. And I'll go wherever. But right now I can serve on the outside team. That's, cooking the food, preparing the stuff, writing the letters. That was the big thing. I don't want to give away too much because people on the inside will watch this. But there are things that happen when you're in the Kairos, when you go to this event, that it's life-changing. And so I don't want to say too much of what happens because some of it it's kind of kept secret because you experience it in the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will say there's this prayer chain. Okay.
Everybody talks about, usually when I'm talking to people, they talk about the prayer chain and the cookies.
The cookie. Oh, everybody knows about the cookies. Yeah. Because you get to send them back to the whole unit gets them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everybody knows about the cookies. But the prayer chain, when that came out and I got to speak a little bit during that event, this girl named I have a lot of girls I can shout out to.
And make sure you do.
Okay. But this girl, Paula McGregor, she was amazing. She still keeps up with me now. And but this one girl named Summer, the bluest eyes I've ever seen. I was given a mic at one point and asked to say something. And it was the first time, I feel like I blacked out. Like, I don't even remember talking. But she came up to me afterwards. She said, Sarah, you need to use your voice. You have a gift and you need to use your voice. And my journey, I lost my voice. After that Kairos walk, I wrote a short story because I'm a storyteller, and the way I can kind of explain my emotions is through like a little parable, kind of like, Jesus did, but it makes sense to me. So I wrote this short story about a lion and a mouse and a lion, and I can share it if you want in a little bit. But so my whole journey was I had become a mouse, and I'd lost my voice and I was scared to use it. And so when she came up to me and she told me that, I was like, okay, well, maybe I will speak more. Maybe somebody does want to listen. I don't know.
That's so good.
Yeah,
I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm glad she came up and told you that.
Yeah. I'll never forget that.
Man, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so what else you do?
Well, I work.
Where do you work?
I work at Plank downtown, in Clear Fork in Fort Worth. I'm a waitress. I design swimming pools. I work for Blue Lagoons. I'm a pool designer, so I do graphic design with that.
Y'all heard me. Y'all heard me talk about it already. Obviously, I got my time frames wrong with how long she's been out of prison. But yeah, Jess and I have been talking about the video for the ranch, and so she her craft. She posted something on Facebook that she designed, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what we need done for Forgiven Felons. Yeah. And so I texted her. It was like, hey, is this your own software? Is it the company software? Whatever. And she's like, no, I can do it. And I was like, well, all right. Yeah. So I don't know when we're going to show it to you, but you're gonna get to see it, her handiwork, and so we're excited. I've never been more excited about the vision of the ranch that was birthed in prison. So like this is a 22-year-old vision that she helped us put on picture and on video, and so we're excited about it. I want to publicly say thank you so much before the general public sees it. Other people have seen it that we've been linking up with for prayer and possible financing or funding. And so thank you in advance for doing that for us, because it's incredible.
Well, I built a swimming pool company with my husband for 20 years. And in that, I learned graphic design. I learned how to do that stuff. And I thought I had lost the opportunity to ever do that again. And so to be able, let me just say, to go from my bunk watching you and to then be on the outside and be able to use a gift that God gave me for you, that is like when I talk to the women inside and tell them, you have no idea what God has ahead of you.
Yeah.
Like you can't fathom.
No.
Yeah. It's amazing.
You're going to love it. You're going to love it. It's so cool. I can't stop watching it. That's how cool it is. All right. And then I keep wanting to add things. I'm like, can you add this? Can you add that?
That's fun for me. I was like, heck yeah, your ideas are amazing.
It's going to be a really cool place. So All right. So you wait tables where?
At Plank in Clear Fork.
Now, is this the first time in your life that you waited tables?
Oh no, I did that all through college. I serve. I'm a people person. I serve. That's what I feel more comfortable and natural in. I like to host stuff like that, so I can walk up. I'm excited, and the food at this restaurant's amazing. So it's so easy for me.
How amazing? Like that's a long drive. So is it worth date night for me and my wife?
Oh yes,
Okay.
absolutely, amazing. Like, do you like oysters?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so the oysters, the fish, they have a rotating fish menu. There's not a dish there that you're not going to like.
Okay.
It's the first restaurant I've been at where, I mean, as a waitress, you're going to get in the weeds, overwhelmed. But the staff.
I know what the weeds mean.
Yeah.
But maybe not everybody else.
Okay.
My wife and I both served, so
okay, yeah.
so we love the craft.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And I loved your post.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
Thank
It's
you.
so true and so good because
Yeah.
I learned a lot of my communication skills by practicing
Yes.
with waiting on tables, and how to read people.
Yeah.
Because I mean, not everybody wants my big personality when they sit down.
Yeah.
There's some tables that want it.
Right.
Some
Yeah.
kids that thrive on it. But then there's some people, there's the older, couple that's just there celebrating their 45th anniversary.
Yeah.
And they don't need hey, what's going on? They don't need all that.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, would you like for me to dim the light bulb a little bit for you?
Yeah.
And so, I learned how to do that. And when people talk about how they don't give good tips, I'm like, I get good tips on people that even have a stereotypical view of not tipping well, because you just you learn people, and even if you can't read them at first, when you start talking to them, you pick up on things, and so I made a lot of money. I mean, I hate that I ended up doing what I did when I was serving because we ended up. I think I've talked about it before. It's in my book, but it's an old system called Romanco. You're too young to remember Romanco. They've nobody used Romanco after me and my partner got into trouble because it was these little keys. It's old, like computer-wise. Think of DOS, like DOS Windows old, and this was that version, and you kept the key either around your neck or on a pin, and you put it in, and it had a flat part and it had little holes, so or spaces. So lasers shot through. Either they shot through or they bounced back, and that's each pin had a pattern, a code, and that's how you knew.
Oh my gosh.
That's how you knew which was yours. Okay, so your little thing was the sign. J-Dan Gum was this one, has this code, and but people would just leave theirs in the thing and run off and forget them. And then you find them and you're like, so the manager always said, hey, if you find a key and turn it in, you get a free meal or whatever. I mean, me and my buddy, we found them all the time. It's like, we got tired of eating.
Yeah.
We just kept pocketing them.
Yeah.
And then one night we got drunk and we're like, hey, what if we made a manager's key?
Oh.
And so we said, well, we got to get a manager's key first. Well, all the time, we'd find the GM's manager keys in there. So what we did was, instead of going and saying, hey, we found your key, give us a reward or whatever, we'd get it, and then we would copy the pattern down. Hole, space, space, hole, hole, hole. And then, so when we got one, we got drunk one night, went back to his house, and his dad had all these drill presses that had the right drill size, and we fiddled through all of our little collection of little keys. And we found one that was closest to the pattern, so we did the least amount of work. And where there was a space and we needed a hole, we drilled a hole. When there was a hole we needed it to be filled, we filled it with candle wax.
That's smart. Very intelligent, guys. I mean,
It's crazy.
a little bit of kudos.
So then we're like, okay, so how do we do this? Like, all right, the only way we can do something with it is on separate checks, because the way we rang separate checks up is we'd ring it all up, table 3, group 1, for the kitchen to make everything together. Then we'd come back and we'd ring up table 3, group 2, table 3, group 3, group 4, however many separate tickets there are, and then we'd take both tickets to the manager. He would make sure they add up together, equal each other. Then he would go and delete the main one, the group 1.
Uh-huh.
All right. So now we're all still accountable for the same amount, but then, he deletes group one or, group one. So then we're like, all right, that's the only way we can do it. Cause he comes and he deletes that. So there are some deletions on our record that night. And so, but we're like, okay, what if they pay with credit card? We're like, we can't mess with the credit cards. It has to be cash. Mm-hmm. So we'd get a table, table of 8 people, and sometimes, busy nights, you don't give as when you're the best waiters, you get assigned the busiest sections on the best nights.
Yeah.
And sometimes those sections can even put the best of waitresses and waiters in the weeds, Yeah. And so, may not be able to give your optimal service that night. And so, you get a group of 8 men who typically don't tip that well. And depending on, where they're coming from, what they're doing, where they're headed to, there's always the stereotypes. And so, this group paid cash and they did not tip well. So I went to Scotty and I said, hey, I think we're ready to try it. So we went and I did it. And we already knew because we would stand right there when he'd go and delete group one. We knew what to do. Yeah. So we'd put the key in and it registered. Hey, Chuck. We're like, Chuck was our GM. And so we're all nervous, but then we just go in there and we delete it.
Yeah.
And we just stuck to a plan for about 6 months and said, we were already top waiters there. We had no reason to mess it up. But we just
the game.
We did one check per shift.
Yeah.
And we stuck to that, and we took home about an extra $800 a week.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then one weekend we both worked doubles, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And we didn't do it just one time. Yeah. We did it multiple times, and we got greedy. Yeah. And it flagged in the system. And what's funny is we were about to be interviewed. I know I'm taking up all your time, but I'm telling you this for a reason. Okay. I'm telling y'all this. I don't know if I've ever shared this part. This part of my story outside of my book in the podcast. But I think it's relatable. Yeah. And so I'm like, they tried to pin like literally $20,000 on us. Yeah. And they said we've been doing it for a year. And I'm like, no, we haven't. Now we tried to undersell it a little bit. Yeah. We're like, no, maybe 1,000, And so, we went the opposite direction. But they said, we're going to press charges. Yeah. And unless you tell us how you did it.
Oh,
and so I'm like, and they called my sister in first. Okay. She wasn't involved in it. But they knew she had a sweet spirit, sweetheart. Yeah. And they would roll on me. She would roll on me if she needed to. Yeah. It's like, I have no idea. I don't even know what you're talking about. And so they called me and they said, okay, so obviously this is not for, bar manager. Because we were both up for bar manager. We ruined so many things. By doing that, we ruined such a career path we could have had in the service industry. And we had aspirations of GM, And they said, we know you did it. We know Scott's involved. And they said the same thing to Scott. We know you did it. We know J-Dan's involved. We just want to know if you tell us how you did it, we won't press charges. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, if I tell you how you did it, then you can press charges. Now you have all kinds of...
Yes.
We're good. What, you just going to fire me? What? Obviously, I don't have a job anymore, right? We're good. So we both just refused to say anything. And, and they said, you are banned. They tried to get us to come to Cheddar's corporate. It was Cheddar's. And so we did. We went to Cheddar's corporate. And they said, they tried to get it out of us again, And eventually I said, look, you need to change computer systems.
Yeah, right.
Because what we did was so basic. What we didn't take much thought at all. And I said, y'all, so then eventually, like within that same year that they banned us from even coming on Cheddar's property to eat, they changed to a system called Squirrel. And it was like a credit card size. It had like 100, much harder to duplicate. And so I just told them, I said, yeah, you should change.
Yeah.
period. I said,
Yeah.
because we're not the only ones that know how to do this.
Let me just give you some advice.
But what made it so worse for them is they just spent like $50,000 before they caught us. This is in the middle of us knowing that we were already doing this. They spent $50,000 doing all these brand new training videos, and me and him are the face of those training videos. So one of the first days we're allowed back in to eat, we go eat together, and the server comes in and goes,
They kept them?
"Do I know y'all?" And we're like, "No. How long you worked here?" 3 months. And then one of the bartenders was, "Y'all know that everybody who comes through here is seeing y'all's training videos."
That's hilarious. Like, I can't believe I can't believe
There was nothing they could do. There was the old ones were so out of date.
Yeah.
They couldn't they couldn't use those.
That's hilarious.
Because they had so much new stuff, and then we were the face of their franchise store. And so, I mean, and these were like all over the nation, training all over the nation. So eventually they did replace them, but
Life is funny like that. Bro, that's hilarious. Is that in your book?
yes, that part is in my
all right,
book.
I like
Yep,
that.
yep.
I like that.
So anyway, I haven't really shared that story much, but I wanted to share it with you today.
I appreciate that.
Because I know your story, and I want you to know that you're not the only one.
Okay.
It's got in trouble.
All right.
Like that. So, but anyway, yeah. So it hadn't always been this great. You hadn't always had this job and working for these organizations.
Right.
So let's do what our podcast says. Let's do a background check on you.
Okay.
All right. Don't be nervous because everybody passes this one.
All right. Okay.
But that's why we do this show. Whenever God said start the podcast, I'm like, I like to argue dumb stuff with God. I'm like, I don't even know what to call it.
Yeah.
And he's like, who cares? Just start the podcast. Just be obedient. I'm like, no, I need to know what to call it. And he said, call it background check. And the reason we call it background check is because the slogan's cute. Your background shouldn't hold you back. It should pay you back. But it all comes from the passage in Scripture that says, let the thief who stole steal no more, and let him pay back.
Yes.
4 or 5 times. Some say 30-fold, 60-fold, whatever. Yeah. This depends on which passage you're looking at. But what we did, our background stole from us. Mm-hmm. It stole relationships. It stole business. It stole money. It stole time. It stole a lot from us.
Yeah.
And so we can't just let our background sit back there and do nothing.
Okay.
And continue to steal from us.
Yeah.
Because if we let it, it could steal our future as well.
Yeah.
And so the way we make it pay us back is we begin to share it.
Okay.
And we begin to share our been theirs. We got the shirts that say been there.
Yeah.
And the kingdom of God, we're a bunch of been theirs.
Yeah.
Not has-beens, but been theirs.
Yeah.
And each been there, your been there is going to encourage somebody today.
Okay.
My been there encourages people when they hear it as well. And so that's what it's all about. You ready? You ready to do this?
Yeah.
All right. So where are you from? Brothers, sisters, family, divorced, together? What? How was it growing up in the Sarah? Now, okay, is it Carter or Burt?
It's Carter right now on paper. My maiden name's Burt.
Okay, so Burt is the maiden name.
I'm going to go back to Burt.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm divorced.
Okay.
But right now, I'm in a custody battle, so it's easier for me to wait till after that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. I gotcha. All right. What was it like growing up? Where are you from?
I'm from a little town called Belleville,
Okay.
right outside of Houston, outside of Katy. I grew up on a farm, single mom, and raised by my single mom, and then my grandparents, my maternal grandparents, pretty much raised by them on their farm. Yeah. Grew up there, small town.
Raised by a single mom.
Raised by a single mom.
Shout out to mom.
Yes.
Come on.
Yeah, Amy. Yeah, she's amazing. She taught me a lot about personal appearance through the grind. She'd wake up early, 4:30, 5 o'clock, and I remember asking her, "How do you do?" Because I was struggling to get out of bed. She'd put me in the bath in the morning. I'd fall asleep in the bath. Try to go to school. And she's in there curling her hair, doing her makeup, going to work, and a single mom. I'm like, how do you do this every morning? She's like, Sarah, you just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just do it. And I'll never forget that. So yeah, she raised me. My grandparents helped a lot. My grandfather, because my dad wasn't around. So my grandfather stepped into that role. And my uncle.
Did they just get divorced, or were they never married, or why wasn't he around?
They got divorced. He was a truck driver. Okay. I recently lost my father, and I can talk about that. But he battled addiction. He loved Jesus. The sweetest, most peaceful guy you'll ever meet. He could not be responsible, And so early on, when I was young, about 5, they got divorced. And because we were in Fort Worth, and when they got divorced, we moved back with my grandparents. Yeah.
Do you remember at 5? Like, how did you comprehend? Could you wrap your head around, mom and dad were always together and now they're not together? And I mean, did you have an opinion at 5 years old, or
No, because he was always on the road, so he wasn't really.
So he wasn't really there anyway. Okay.
Yeah, so it was just kind of like, oh, we're moving to the country,
Brothers, sisters? Did you already say that?
No, I have a younger sister, and then I have one older sister, and then I have all my cousins. Which, when you're from the country, your cousins are like your brothers and sisters.
Yes,
yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, so just girls, no brothers. Yeah.
So Belleville, did I say it right? Belleville.
Mm-hmm.
So it's far enough out of the city where it's actually country.
Country, one stoplight in the town. And so you got the Belleville town, and then you got the farming You got the farming community on the outside, called Buckhorn. And so that's where I was. So like country, like dirt road.
I don't know why Buckhorn sounds familiar to me.
Well, I don't know. There's a guy that came in while I was in prison that shares his story. There's a boys' home in Buckhorn.
Maybe that's why I know.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So, what was life like for you? I mean, your dad battled addiction. What about mom? Did you eventually get into addiction to drugs, alcohol, anything?
Yeah. So my mom had her. I'm very aware that sharing some of my story is sharing some of other people's stories as well, right? So there was a lot of that going on, and in this small town, you're bored, and this was in the 90s, right, when all the MDMA was coming out, all the raves, stuff like that. So you find stuff to do.
MDMA is ecstasy, in case people that don't do drugs didn't know what that was.
Yeah. So you find ways, stuff to do. So I got tied up into that. And my grandfather, he was such a good man, such a good Christian man. He would make sure I always had a ride to Wednesday youth night and Sunday service. And I was really good at basketball. Like, one of my skills is I can see a system. I could read the court and I could see it ahead. So I was good at basketball, and he would take me to different camps traveling. So I really had owned that skill. I lived kind of 2 lives. I was a basketball player, freshman on varsity. I was set to like get scholarships and stuff like that. I was a cheerleader, but I was partying. I was going to raves. I was, because I had this, I had this hole from not having a dad. I was trying to mask that pain, and I did that with all the friends I had. Most of the friends I had were guys. So I was trying to find that male energy.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you close to your mom?
I am now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's life like with your mom right now?
Right now we talk every day. Yeah, and it wasn't always like that. Right now we talk every day. She's just so good at building me up. She's seen me at my worst. We've seen each other at our worst. When you grow up with a single mom. Yeah. And so right now we talk every day, and we're just kind of figure things out. She is like my grandmother, where she's very headstrong. She's very, you know your worth. You do not accept less. Like, she's a firecracker.
Wow.
And, I have a stepdad who is very kind and gentle and logical. And, so they kind of balance each other out a little bit. Yeah.
So what did she think about, you going to prison?
Well, so I was married for a long time. I met my husband, the man that I married at 19. And when I did that, I had gotten myself wrapped up into a bad group, right? I lost my basketball scholarship because when you're doing drugs, you don't realize you're losing your muscle ability, your muscle mass, you know? So I wasn't hitting my jump shots, anything like that. So by senior year, I had actually gotten in trouble at a volleyball playoff game where I caught a charge, and I wasn't able to start those first 5 games. And so then after that, I just spiraled. I lost my basketball scholarship, and when
Where were you wanting to go to college?
Sam Houston.
Okay.
Yeah, I still went to Sam Houston. I just couldn't play ball there. I could walk on, but at that point, my body was so deteriorated. You know, and nobody really you think you're just living life. Things are cool.
I know.
You don't know. Stuff's happening to your body. Like, you're not going to hit that jump shot anymore, girl. Like, that's not happening. So, I'll never forget the first time I airballed it. But, it was so
Yell?
Yeah. I cried. I cried.
There's this video on the internet. I'm going to have to find it and play it because it fits right in here. It's like, I don't know, junior high school, maybe? Mm-hmm. High school? Young kids. And somebody's videoing. And so all of a sudden, you hear the little kid airballs a free throw. And all of a sudden you hear everything's quiet except this one lady's voice.
Yeah.
Airball.
Oh.
And everybody turns around and looks at her. She's the one filming. She's like, I'm his mom. I can do that.
I'm her mom. It's fine.
Oh, it was so
awesome.
funny. Because I'm like, because he did. The little kid looked up like, what are you doing, Mom?
I love that.
But yeah, it's, airballs were hard to stomach after you did them and you hear the other team cheering airball. And I'm like, golly, man.
Yeah.
And okay. So what happened after that?
So my dad got sick, and I looked in the mirror, and I didn't recognize the person anymore my senior year. And so I packed a suitcase, and I showed up on his doorstep in back in Fort Worth. And I said, I need somewhere to detox. So I slept in his garage for 2 months, getting myself clean. And
was that hard?
That was hard. I did it alone. That was hard. A lot of sleep. But my dad, with everything that he struggled with, he had me this fish dinner with cottage cheese and a glass of chocolate milk every day throughout like this 2 months. I watched Friends, I had my little meal, and I slept. And he was constantly there checking on me. He was exactly what I needed.
Wow,
in that moment.
That's good.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. So, I got a job waitressing at Fox and the Hound, and I met the man I was going to marry at 19. And when I did that, when you're so far, it's like a pendulum, right? And so you're so far one direction, it's very easy to go the other direction. So I met somebody where I thought, I can't make decisions for myself. I need somebody to make decisions for me. And this was that type of person. So when I chose that path with him, I had to cut off my family.
Yeah.
And so I had to cut off my mom and anything that represented the choices that I had made. And so we didn't have a relationship for 20 years until I went to prison.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do y'all talk about that? Have y'all talked about that, worked through that? And
it's a
is it
lot
hard for her?
It is hard for her. She doesn't understand. It is hard for her. It's a healing process. And, I was raised, my grandparents are, they're cousins of the Haltoms. So Haltom City. So my grandparents their money. And in that society, you put the best face out there. That's how my mom was raised. Yeah. You kind of hide what's going on. And so, even now, it's hard for her to be vulnerable and talk about what's happening behind the scenes, what's happening underneath the water. So it's just a process. Yeah.
Okay, so you got married. You started having kids. How many kids do you have with what's his your husband at the time?
Yes, my husband at the time. So I had 4 kids with him. I have 4 kids. He had a stepdaughter.
Okay.
Yeah. And so 5 total. Beautiful children. Beautiful. And we built a business together, swimming pool construction business. Wonderful. And I really went in a direction of complete opposite. Like, I'm going to be the soccer mom. I'm going to, go to church, volunteer, all this stuff. And I loved being a mom. Like, that's so amazing. So I built that up with him, and
What part did you play in that, in the company? What did you do? Design pools? Were you out there throwing the gunite around?
I did everything. Yeah.
You did it all?
I did. Well, I did do gunite. Like, so we started cleaning pools, and then we went to repairs. And then I was working as an underwriter at the same time. So I'm always the breadwinner, right? And so he wanted to build a business, and I literally Googled, how do you build swimming pools? And I had to teach myself.
Wow.
So I taught myself how to build a swimming pool. I was working as an underwriter in the financial company, and he was out in the field. And we kind of built a route. We built it up like that. But when I left my job as an underwriter, I had one baby that was 2 months, another baby that was 18 months, and I would run route. So I would wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, do all the accounting, do all the office work, be out the door by sunrise, go run my 10 pool route, and know where the parks and the Chick-fil-A's were, because I had 2 babies. And so I would have to stop and let them exercise and feed them. But it was an adventure. I loved it. I was exhausted. But it was, I like, I work.
Well, I mean, you were modeled by your mom.
Yes.
She was a hard worker, and her work ethic was incredible. And so you knew you could do that too.
Yeah.
Because she told you. You just do it.
You just
do it. So you just did it.
Yeah.
And man, that's all right. So you did it for a long time until something happened.
Yeah.
So
when you're grinding that hard, you burn out, right?
Yep.
And when you work with the person you're married to, it's not always the greatest situation as well. So
I know. I fired Jessamy.
Yeah.
When I got out of prison and I didn't really have a job, this guy that I was mentoring, his son, he hired me to run his 2 smoothie factory franchises.
Yeah.
And so when we opened the first store, she came to work for me.
Yeah.
And I fired her within 3 weeks. Yeah. She says she quit. She did not get fired.
Yeah.
So I don't know which one you want to believe, but I said I fired her. She said she quit. She didn't get fired. But yeah, it's tough, man. I mean, just when you do the house stuff, then you do the business stuff, and then you do everything together, it's tough.
It is tough. Yeah, it is really tough. So I was looking for an exit strategy. Yeah. And I got picked up by somebody that found me on LinkedIn. I have I hustle. I learn. I'm a lifetime student, so I'll learn different skills and stuff. And this person picked me up to be his personal assistant and his executive admin for his company. He worked in private equity, and I needed financial freedom because I'm used to being the workhorse, but in that I didn't have autonomy. Do you know what I mean by that?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have the authority over myself.
Yep.
So I was picked up by this person and pretty much given free reign at a very high level to do projects and things like that. And I didn't have the structure or the discipline I needed to be able to handle that at that level.
Yeah. So let's just say you went to prison. Your charge was officially fraud, right?
Yeah.
Or
theft.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we don't have to get into all the details, but when you knew you were in trouble, and it's time for trial and sentencing and all that, what was going on? What was going on in your life and your mind, and with your mom and everybody else?
Yeah.
So whenever the dust settled a little bit on what you were going to be getting in trouble for, how were you able to process all that? Especially with kids and a family and different things, and knowing that you were potentially going away.
Okay, well, my story's more of what not to do.
Okay.
Okay. I froze. I tried to hide a lot. I was raised in a sense where you fake it. You put, your appearance out there. I managed the appearance of it. So, I was still working a lot leading up to that. I closed everybody out. I wanted to figure it out myself, by myself. I even hired a lawyer from Belleville to represent me. He drove 4 hours every time because I didn't trust to be open and honest with anybody up here. I didn't let my family know. I shut everybody out, and you don't want to do that.
Right.
Yeah, so I didn't prepare my family. I didn't prepare my husband at the time. I didn't prepare my kids at the time. And so I know a lot of what not to do.
Gotcha. And you probably didn't even realize it when you were in the middle of it, how it would all end up.
No.
Because you were, I mean, I'm helping you tell the story in a way that doesn't dishonor or, do anything. But to a certain extent, you knew you were doing it wrong, but you were told to do certain things a certain way.
Right.
And so, in a sense, you thought, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Right. So the situation I got into, I was in charge of managing a lot of money. Okay, so when you get pulled into certain crowds, certain groups, you get trained on how to move money, how to manage money. I was under the assumption this is the way it was done.
Right.
I was under the assumption that everybody, that it was understood what I was doing.
Right.
Right. So I don't.
Normal modes of operation, normal protocols, and when the stuff hit the fan,
Yeah.
everybody who said that this is the way we do it, all of a sudden bailed and
Oh yeah.
and said, "Oh no, she did it the wrong way. She didn't do
Yeah.
it the way we told her."
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I feel like it went down, because your situation's not unique. That does happen quite a bit, especially in the financial world, especially in that world. And so, just hearing you tell the story to me earlier, I felt like, you were told, hey, this is the way we do it. You do it. And then in the end, when people start getting in trouble, it all comes down on you.
Oh, they bail.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely bail.
Yeah.
I remember in the courtroom, that other side was packed. I
Yeah.
had nobody on my side. I didn't have anybody show up. And I remember the bailiff put the cuffs on me, and he was so sweet, and he put on a little loose, and he says, "Don't worry, you're going to make your first parole. You'll be okay." Like, he took that half a minute to kind of,
Wow, what a great bailiff.
oh my gosh. Because I was scared. Like, you have flight, fight, and freeze. I was like a deer this whole time, to where I didn't even comprehend that when you are found guilty, you go right then.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Like, I had dropped
It's
my
not
kids
like federal.
off.
Federal, you have time
Yeah.
to report, but state, you're right then.
I had no idea. So the only person I had in that courtroom was my lawyer, because I had shut everybody out. I decided I'm going to do this on my own. I was embarrassed,
Yeah.
I think. And I didn't know who I could trust anymore. So that bailiff was very kind to me and very sweet. Very sweet. Yeah.
So let's see if we can go down this route. Because you did say what you were doing was wrong.
Right.
So where, like, in the moment, in that season, did you ever think, okay, I'm going to get caught one day?
Yeah, I did. You almost know it. When you're doing wrong, you almost know it. And for me, in my mindset I was in, I don't know if this is the right term, but in my mind I had said, I'm willing to die on the sword type thing, like, for my family.
Yeah.
I was trying to lift my family up into a lifestyle that I had no business trying to do. I was trying to give them things I didn't have as a child. And I was so desperate for that if it meant me going away, like for some reason I was okay with that. I don't know why I was thinking that in the moment, but also I felt like if things came out and people saw, because a lot of the money got moved into the community. I did a lot of projects with different places, and like I felt like if you just ask me where the money went and then it's going to be okay. Like I didn't think anything was going to be wrong, because one, the people I was working with, they get put on a pedestal and they're like, oh, we believe in this and we want to make this difference and that difference. And I saw behind the curtains a little bit. And to be completely honest, like I kind of got a little angry, and I was in the mindset where, okay, well, you need to put your money where your mouth is. And you give the devil a foothold. Yeah. He's going to work through. It's the whole concept of counterfeit. He's going to take what God meant for good and he's going to turn it for evil. And I kind of feel like that's what happened, because I thought I was doing all these good things, but my heart posture wasn't right in it. Yeah. And I realize that now, but yeah.
So you went to trial.
Yeah.
What was that like? Did you go in expecting one thing and then get a different outcome?
All I was expecting, all I could do is show up. So I was so traumatized, like in the moment. I remember you just breathing and like you gotta show up. Like my husband at the time dropped me off at the steps of the courthouse. I literally was in trial by myself. Like everybody, the door shut so fast on me that, I could feel the wind. Yeah. So nobody stood beside me like that. But so I just knew I had to show up and give it to God. And that's all I could focus on.
And were you fighting against this, like you wanted to get completely off? Or I know you said that God spoke to you during the trial, so talk about that moment.
Yeah, so there was my situation. I had an opportunity to talk about other things that were going on inside of this group of people that I ran with, right? I justified my bad behavior by their bad behavior. Well, I didn't do this. Like, look at them. Like, I had the ability or the opportunity to kind of redirect. God told me no, right? He said, if you get on that stand, you're going to be pushed into a corner, and I know you. You're going to either try to manipulate, sugarcoat, or lie your way out of this, Sarah. You're at a fork in the road, and this is not about them. This is about you and your salvation. Wow. You're either going to get honest with me and humble yourself and get put on the path I meant for you, or you're going to keep going down this self-destruction, way. And so I didn't put up a defense. Yeah. And I remember when my lawyer stood up and they asked, because the prosecutor goes first. Right. And the lawyer said, the defense rests. And that side, because that side is money and all that, they gasped. I'll never forget that sound. They gasped because they couldn't believe that I wasn't going to share all this stuff that I had.
Probably a little relief.
Definitely.
Relief gasp.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And so, they offered me a plea deal of 25 years. I felt like if I put it in the hands of the jury, of people like me and you, and just told them my side of it, that I had a better chance. And that's what I did. So they gave me 7 years. Yeah.
So usually a plea deal is something that is lesser than what they really want to give you. Yeah. So what were they trying to give you? If 25 was their first plea deal, what were they trying to give you?
I don't know. I just remember 25.
That was just the first deal they brought to the table to try not to get it to go to court.
Right. Okay. And I remember going in and sitting down ahead of one of, the update hearings or whatever. And I go in early, and I don't look like maybe somebody that would be the defendant. Yeah. And so I remember sitting at the front, and I'm talking to this bailiff about pickleball, right? And and the assistant DA walks in, and they're talking about my case right in front of me. Like, they don't realize it's me. And they're like, man, she should have taken this deal. She is about to go down, all this stuff. And then you should have seen his face when they realized, that I was the person they were talking about. But so there was a lot of fear, but I was like, no, I'm going to give it to God. Like, no. Yeah.
God did good.
He did
He
do
did good on that.
He did do. I mean,
So your sentence was 7 years?
7 years, yeah.
And you did how long on it?
2.
Okay.
Yeah.
So was that made your first parole and did a program, or?
No, I just made my first parole, but it took so long for them to see me, and then they FI2'd me 6 months out so I could finish my CDL.
Gotcha. So so the bailiff was right.
The bailiff was right. Yeah. And you have so much fear when you're trying to choose the right path, get spoken over you, that I feel like God will give you these little glimpses.
Yes.
And if you just attune your ear to it, you're like, okay, I can keep going.
Tune your ear through the fear.
Yes.
Because the fear is loud.
Yes.
But sometimes that voice of a bailiff.
Yeah.
Sometimes that voice, Damon West talked about a voice he heard at the court, in the trials and everything.
Yeah.
So, man. All right. So 2 years in prison. What'd you learn in prison? What did you do in prison? What was life like for you?
Everything. You learn resilience in prison. You learn, those are people just like me and you, like, I mean, obviously, but they're normal people that, one thing, I got into prison, I was hearing these stories and they were familiar to me, but it wasn't because I was hearing it from an inmate. It's because I knew a lawyer, a sitting judge. I knew people that I ran with that had the same battles, but they're not in here.
They had money to get out of those battles.
Yes.
And most people in prison don't.
Yes. And so that's one thing I learned is like, these are just normal people that just, whatever happened, most of them. I mean, granted, there's, others, but for the majority, it was just normal everyday life struggles, and moms, sisters. I learned that. I learned, power struggles and authority. I learned how to humble myself and really go off a bare minimum, no pillow, for 2 years. You're curling up your jacket, trying to sleep, get comfortable.
Yeah.
No AC.
Ooh, that was hard for me.
Yeah.
That was really hard for me. Yeah. I'm finishing up the book, and I'm at the point where I'm at the trustee camp.
Yeah.
And the trustee camp, the Gorby trustee camp, we were in 96 men dorms, all cubicles, one story, and it was in the middle of summer, 2004, and it was so hot. Luckily, my mom and dad had some money to give me a fan.
Yeah. Oh.
And I got a fan. I put it on the end of my bunk. I went and ran in the trustee camp. We had several coolers, and we designated one to just get our sheets wet, with ice cold water. I go back to the bunk, put it over the fan, over the top of me, and just create my own little cool chamber,
Yes, yeah.
And but man, that and then I got moved eventually to a private facility where they had central air and heat. So but that was the toughest for me. I know we're coming up on the heat of the summer right now, and starting to pray for everybody. We're praying for y'all.
Yeah,
we're praying for more rain this summer than ever before, because we know rain brings cool.
Yeah, it's a struggle.
So anything you learned in prison that you're like, man, I don't know that I could have learned that had I not gone to prison? Anything you picked up? Any life hack? Any discipline you created while you were in there that you don't know whether or not you would have learned that, grasped that, got that if you hadn't gone down that route?
Yeah. So I think the number one thing is to be still, slow down. Because I was out here, I was trying to go so fast, be so much, that stuff. And to a point where I was on, right before I caught the charge, I was on Adderall and Xanax. And Adderall's common. Yeah.
What in the world?
Yeah. I had a site, doctor put me on both those things. And so I was up and down.
Yeah. It's like, which way do you want to go?
I know.
Why don't you try to go both?
But that's the thing with like women nowadays. That's what they do to keep up with, the bake sales and, the sporting events. And,
so the Adderall in the morning, the Xanax at night?
That or wine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it wrecks your nervous system. So when I went to prison, I had nothing. I had to be still. I had to learn myself. I learned breath work. I learned meditation.
So good.
I learned what it meant to have a real relationship with God, with Christ, with, that feeling. It's different. It's different when it's real. You're not You're not faking it. It's not a cultural thing. It's like you're so desperate, you need him. Yeah. So that I learned that in there. And I tried to teach it to the other girls. A lot of the voice I was hearing in there, he kept telling me, learn them. Just learn them. And I learned so much from these women because I had shut everybody out. So when I went in there, I had nothing on my books.
Right.
I had no hygiene, no coffee, none of that. But these girls that were in there took care of me every step of the way. I didn't go without anything.
Wow.
So I learned feminine energy. Because growing up, all my friends were guys. I was so hungry for that male energy.
Yeah.
And my mom was the disciplinarian, so I wanted to go in the other direction of the feminine energy. So learning the power in females, especially ones that unite in times of struggle, it's just amazing.
Do you still talk to some ladies in prison?
Oh, yeah. In prison and out, yeah.
So ones that you were locked up with, you still connect with them?
Yeah.
You want to give them a shout out?
Yeah, I have.
Look at that camera there.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I have Penny, Stacy,
Come
my
on,
best
Penny.
friend. Yeah, Penny and Stacy, yeah.
Where are they?
And Sally, so Penny's at an Oxford house in Dallas.
Okay, so she can watch it on YouTube.
Yeah. Stacy, she's down in Beaumont. And Sally, I believe, is in Tyler.
Okay.
And then I have Jessica in Frisco.
Okay.
And, and then all my mentors. Yeah. My mentors, the Kairos, I have Carrie. I text Carrie all the time. She sends me songs all the time, devotionals all the time. She just keeps me going. And she's actually going to baptize me again on June 7th.
Come on.
Yeah, I reached out to her. Her husband has a church in Whitney.
I was going to ask where you are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah.
All right, so what's the journey for the kids? Like what's the, what's the current status and what's the future hope?
Yeah, so the current when I was in prison, he got a divorce. So default judgment, you can't be there. I wasn't able to be there. So he got whatever he wanted. And right now I have supervised visitation. And that's going to go on until, the end of the year and until I can open it up.
And supervised visitation, just for anybody who doesn't know what that means, explain what supervised.
Supervised visitation is where you are supervised with family services through the county at the courthouse. You go into this little room, and I think you have like an hour to be able to be with your kids. So, coming from the life that I came from, like, it's complete opposite. The coin's flipped, know, and I have to learn how to humble myself, find peace in it, know that God's working in it, and be okay where he has put me now, because it's not where I'm going to stay. And that there's a muscle that you have to grow through that.
Yes.
So I have supervised visitation right now. I'm going to, I'm already in the works of getting my custody back. And so that's just patience is huge. And I'm waiting.
Being still. God knows I hate to be still.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Those verses that talk about being still, wait upon the Lord, renew your strength. I'm just like, no, I can stay. I need to stay busy. I got to be doing something, and it's tough.
But we're talking about, Mother's Day, and despite all the stuff that I'm kind of going through, like, being a mother doesn't, the state can't take that from you. So you write letters, you FaceTime, you do whatever you can to keep that connection. And then the Lord will restore that, because we serve a God of restoration. And so as a mother, you really need to believe in that. You need to know that nobody's ever going to be able to take that away. And then you focus on growing that, and it'll get better. I believe in that. I have to believe in that.
Yeah. Did you ever go through a season where the shame and guilt from being a bad mother hit you?
Oh yeah. Heartbreak in there. I had to go through a grieving process where I had to grieve my kids like I had lost them, like they had died, because that cord is cut off. Like, I could not communicate with my kids the whole time I was away for 2 years. I couldn't hear their voice. I couldn't smell them. I couldn't touch them. The morning the last day of my trial, I took them to school, and my daughter, She was 4 at the time. And she loved saying, just one more kiss, mommy. And I knew I was hustling to get downtown to the courthouse. And I was taking her into her preschool, and I had to get the teacher to kind of take her with her. And I knew I had to leave, And so I hear her down the hall saying, no, just one more kiss, And so that was the last time, yeah. So, but that was the last time I saw her. So those things are painful. So you go into the prison system, and that's the last time you saw your daughter. And then you're cut off for 2 years. So there's heartbreak. And when there's pain, emotional pain that deep, it gets physical. And so you feel it all over your body. It radiates into your hands. And so the girls that I did time with, I'll be transparent. Sarah, go shower. You're getting bed sores. You need to get up. These girls that were in there, they pulled me out of the deepest hole I was in. Wow. They made sure that I showered. I brushed my teeth. They made sure that I knew I was a lady. Jessica, my friend in Frisco, she was like, girl, you're going to, we had matte pencils we did makeup with. And she was like, she had lotion. She was like, you are still a woman. You need to get it together. Like, she was like, come on. She's spicy jalapeno is what we called her. But the girls in there, they, when you fall, when you're in prison and you find that right fellowship, they catch you.
I tell this to people all the time, and some people that have never been to prison don't understand it. But some of the strongest bonds that I have are with people who I met in prison.
Yeah. 3
of my groomsmen at my wedding, I did time with, and I'm still good friends with them today.
Yeah.
The other 2 were already my friends out here before I went to prison.
Yeah.
They were my best friends before I went to prison, but the other 3 were my best friends in prison, and 2 of them, one of them passed away, but 2 of them I still talk to on a regular basis.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just, I don't know what it is, man, but the friendships, the bonds you make when you're going through seasons of dark times in your life with other people who are going through similar seasons of dark times in their life, the bond is just different, man. It's just, it hits different, man. Covenant relationship hits harder for me since I've been to prison than all the years I grew up in church before I went to prison.
100%. Yeah, because you get it, you bond when it's in the ugly.
Yeah.
It's not pretty. And
it's a true covenant relationship. Covenant relationship is you're doing for somebody else whether they can or do anything for you at all.
Right.
That's what Christ has with us. He did for us when we can offer him nothing in return. And that's what that covenant relationship is. And so I feel like, man, Jonathan and David had it, but they had it during a time where David was being hunted by Jonathan's dad.
Yeah.
That's a prison. Yeah. That's worse than a prison, And so I feel like unless you've gone through something like that, it's hard to wrap your head around a true covenant relationship. Because in prison, we did a lot of things for people that couldn't do anything for us in return. And a lot of people did things for us that we couldn't do anything in return for them. And so I thought, this is crazy.
It's amazing. It's almost like when I was in prison, there's so many weird things, but I almost felt bad that people outside couldn't experience what I was experiencing. Did you ever feel that way?
I get it.
I was like, it's sad that I had to come here to learn this. It's sad that I had to come here to feel this. Why do I have to come to prison to get this?
When I got out, God introduced me to a new level of grace and mercy that I'd never had known before, because he had me ministering to people that had sex offenses and families of people that had sex offenses, loved ones in prison. And that was hard for me. And I fought him for about 30 days because I just wanted to help the drug addicts and the alcoholics. That's what I was,
Yeah.
And he said, no, I need you to do this. And it was hard for me at first, because I didn't understand that there was another level. I was on fire for God when I got out of prison. I thought I was like ready to step into the pulpit and lead millions to Christ. But he let me know I had a long way to go.
Yeah.
And to this day, I have really good friends that I 100% wholeheartedly trust that have sex offense in their past that God has redeemed. And they have completely repented and asked forgiveness. And had I not gone to prison, I wouldn't have come out of prison and had to go through that first 30 days of like, you know, golly, I don't really understand as much as about you, God, as I thought I did.
Yeah.
And a lot of people haven't gone on that journey. They don't have the grace and mercy for those people.
Right.
Those people.
Yeah.
But when you've been around them, when you've been around people that have committed sex offenses, and you understand that most of them never wanted to do stuff like that.
Right.
They didn't. They were either drunk, they were high, or whatever. And most of them, I say most of them because I felt like God showed me during that process of fighting him. He showed me that there are some that never want to repent, and what they think what they're doing is not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And then he showed me there's another group that has been wrongfully convicted, and they're a victim of the system. But he wanted me to minister to the big group in the middle who did do something, possess something, you know, but they only did it once and they don't ever want to do it again.
Yeah.
But nobody wants to help them.
Yeah.
The church doesn't want to help them. Society doesn't want to help them. Prison doesn't want to help them. And they're crying out for somebody. So he asked me to say, I need somebody who's not one that's brave enough. I was checking my manhood now. That's brave enough to walk side by side, shoulder to shoulder, feel what they feel, hear what they hear, and see what they see. And it's not for everybody. He doesn't call everybody to do what I do. I get it. But at first I tried to get everybody to have the same perspective I do, and I had to stop that because not everybody's called to do what God's called me to do.
Right.
Some people can't handle it. Sometimes I can't even handle it.
Right. Yeah.
Most of the time I can't handle what God wants me to do, but he
Yeah.
gives me the grace and the mercy, and he gives me exactly what I need to handle the job that he's called me to do. I didn't think I could do a podcast. Here we are. We're fixing to hit year 6.
Dude, the impact you have no idea. You have no idea.
We almost quit.
I can't. I'm so glad you did not.
2021, late 2021. We were only going to do this until they started letting us back into the prisons, because it was during COVID when we started it. And I told the board, I said, hey, they're starting to let us back in two at a time, not a full ministry, but 2. So I said, eventually we're going to fade the podcast back out. And then we get a letter from a guy in Arizona, inmate. This is before Texas even got tablets. Late 2021. We'd only been on the tablets for about 8 months. And look, dude in Arizona wrote us and said, hey, just want you to know, I've been a Christian for a while now in prison since I got arrested and done my time. I've been a solid Christian, growing in the Lord like crazy, but the last couple of months has been overwhelming. And 2 people close to me died with overdoses. One was a family, one was a friend, and I introduced both of them to the drug game.
Yeah, that's hard.
And the guilt and the shame was so overwhelming. He said, I couldn't take it. I was ready to check out. I had the sheet tied to the top of the cell. And he said, the Holy Spirit visited me in that dark moment when I was about to take my own life. And he said, watch a podcast. And he said, yours was the only podcast back then that, so I watched the latest episode. I hadn't hit refresh. So he hadn't hit refresh or something. He said, the one that was just up, that was right there in front of me, was your Mother's Day episode. And he said, your mom was on there talking about how she never gave up on you.
Yeah.
And it made me think of my mom, who's never given up on me. And if I do this, I'm giving up on her not giving up on me. He said, so I pulled the sheet down, got on my knees, and rededicated my life to the Lord.
That's amazing.
And I looked at my board, I said, we can't stop doing this.
No.
So we kept going. We kept going for you.
Yeah.
We kept going for all these other people. And we love it when
Thank
people contact us and say it made an impact on my life. So thank you for contacting us.
You're welcome. Yeah, it definitely did. You're the first one I saw of yours was when you did the John Maxwell stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
With Twan.
Yeah. It helped me change my perspective, of how I was going to do my time. Yeah.
That's so good. I can't wait. I can't wait to tell Twan that.
Yeah. Oh, I watched it like 3 times over. Oops, sorry. Keep hitting this.
We always we debated on whether we wanted to go do the other 8 because it was 15 invaluable laws of growth.
Right.
And so many of y'all were like writing in saying, you need to do the other 8. We need it. We need the notes. We need the notes. We were so busy. We were like, because we filmed it all in one day. all
Wow.
7 sessions.
Okay.
He drove up here from Houston,
Yeah.
and we filmed all 7 sessions here, and
Yeah.
it took us all day to do it. So
Yeah. It was amazing. I loved it. It made me go to the library. You know, it made me go to the library and check out Maxwell's books because he has a lot. You know? And it just hearing your story, hearing his story, it's like, okay, if they can do it, then maybe I can do it. And so I did, yeah. And then seeing everything else on it, and then it was, yeah. I'm so glad you didn't stop. I hope you never do.
I don't see us stopping. I really don't. I don't know where all it's headed, but I don't see us stopping anytime soon. So thank you. It's people like you to help keep us going. So, and Jessa was so excited to meet you that Sunday.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I was so nervous. I've never been nervous to meet a child, but she was like a celebrity, dude.
Oh, I love it. She is living her best celebrity life.
Yeah.
She tells everybody, "I'm prison famous."
She is. I mean, that's like credit right there.
Whenever people tell her, like, you know, her friends say, "I got this many followers, I got this many followers," she'll say, "But are you on 1 million tablets inside prison?" She knows her value, she knows her worth, and I let her read everything. Even when you message on Facebook that day, I let her read that.
Oh, thank you.
And so, you know, parenting a child like that who's just incredible, and Jim is incredible too. Just they're incredible in both opposite personalities, and but you know, you just like, man, am I being the best parent I can be? You know, am I doing it all right? You know, because I get it wrong. Jessica gets it wrong. We get it wrong every once in a while, but then the devil will try to creep in and say, "Man, you're such a horrible parent."
Yeah.
And then there's this one thing that Jessa always says that makes me fully aware that I'm not a bad parent. I may mess up every once in a while. But if you ask Jessa what she wants to do for her 18th birthday, she'll tell you, "I want to be inside a prison ministering with my dad."
Yeah.
And how many 18-year-olds want to be inside a prison ministering with their dad, you know, on their birthday? So we're doing something right, you know, and we get calls every once in a while from the school. We automatically think our girls are in trouble. Like, "I'm just calling to let you know that your daughter did something really amazing today, and we're so proud of her." And somebody called for Gemma one year, her last year in elementary. "Gemma got an office referral today." They tried to make it sound like it was bad. I'm like, I mean, I don't care if it's bad, because I mean, I went to the office all the time, so and I turned out pretty good. So I'm like, all right. But then they're like, "It's not for anything bad. It's because it's a positive referral." And I'm just like, okay, all right, you know. And teachers will tell us that Gemma, you know, wrote little notes to them to encourage them, and just these little things. It's just we're doing.
You're doing very.
No matter what we do wrong, we're doing some right too.
Yeah.
So, and I'm glad to always share Jessa with the world. We get great art people doing art like that. Look at that.
That's amazing.
Isn't that cool?
These come from inside?
Yes.
Wow.
All these behind me all came from the inside. This was one of the very first ones we got. This one right here.
Oh, I love that.
So.
Wow.
And the wall was her idea. She challenged people, and she said, "Wherever you are, draw something that we can put on this wall." And this was all full of these. She said, "I'm going to tell my dad to take some off, and we just want to put your art up there." So
I love that.
This is all her deal. All right, last thing. Mother's Day. You know, what can you say to all the mothers out there, here or inside? You know, whether they're going through something similar to you, a separation from their kids, or they've made a mistake, or, you know, whatever. Just what kind of message would you like to send to your mother? Say hi to your mom, and but also to other mothers, you know, and whether they are a mother and they're just doing it like your mom did, or whether they're a mother like yourself who may have put themselves in a situation similar to yours where it creates separation. Just kind of give some Mother's Day encouragement.
Yeah. First off, I want to tell my mom thank you. Makes me a little emotional. Thank you for never giving up on me. You know, thank you for always seeing me. You know, you're my biggest cheerleader. biggest cheerleader. And I don't have words for that. For the moms that are on the inside, I understand what you're going through. I understand the pain. I understand the heartbreak. But I want to tell you that you will survive it, that you can make something out of it. So you have an opportunity right now, because your children will not stay children, will not stay long forever. And you have an opportunity to then work on something that you can show them as an adult. Look, this is what happened. I did this. This is how I got through it. You have a show them opportunity right now. You're going to show them how you're going to do this and do it well. You're going to dig deep into the hope that you have inside of you, and you're going to use that to carry you through it. And you never give up. You focus on what it's going to look like when you're with your children again, because we serve a God of restoration, and that time will come. You focus on that as if it's happening now. And then you try to understand what you need to do today to get there. That's what I would encourage you to do. That's how I got through it. And the pain is normal. If you're feeling physical pain, take a minute. If all you can do is get up and take a shower and brush your teeth that day, that is okay. And you go again the next day. You give yourself patience and you give yourself compassion, because there is very little, there's not many other things that can hurt more than a mother's heartbreak for her children. And so that pain is very normal that you're feeling. But it will get better. And for the mothers that are on the outside working towards that restoration, I would say keep going. You're doing a great job. Find fellowship, find the church community, and find other women. That energy, that female energy, for us to surround each other, that's so powerful. That's so powerful. And I just want us to all come together. Like, I want women to be united, you know?
Yeah. That's good. That's real good. Happy Mother's Day to you.
Thank you.
Happy Mother's Day to all of you out there.
Yes. Happy Mother's Day.
All of you, all across the nation, you women behind bars, whether you're in Oregon, whether you're in Rhode Island, Connecticut, Maine, all those states up there. We have a big following in New York. All of you ladies, New York, California has just switched over. So we're starting to see a lot more California people listening. So happy Mother's Day to all you California moms. Everybody watching on Adovo, happy belated Mother's Day, because you won't see this for a few weeks. But everybody watching on the podcast app and the NCIC app, happy Mother's Day. And tell your mom happy Mother's Day from me too.
I will. Okay, I'll tell her in person.
From me.
Okay.
Yeah, tell her in person from me. And so happy Mother's Day to my mom. Mom, I love you. And happy Mother's Day to Jessamy, the greatest mom of my kids. The reason my kids are cute. Jessamy's the reason. It's not because of me. So, all right, let's end in prayer.
Okay.
Father, thank you so much for Sarah's story. Thank you for her journey. Thank you for everything, Lord. Thank you for the growth. Thank you for the seeds that were sown into her life even before she went to prison. But thank you for the seeds that were sown into her by the ladies in prison. Thank you for putting those exact ladies she needed when she was in prison to do the exact things that they did, to pull her up out of the darkness and into the light, and to allow her to see that she is beautiful in your sight, and that she does have value and worth. And so thank you to all those ladies that did that for her. Thank you, Lord, for all of the mothers everywhere, Lord. Thank you for our mothers, the moms that are just doing it, the moms that just did it. Like my mom, she did it for years, Lord, and and now she's old, almost 83, but she's still my mom, and I love her. We thank you for all the moms that have loved ones in prison. Lord, we pray a special blessing over them as well, because it's hard. Mother's Day is hard when you have children in prison. And so we lift up, be close to the moms, the ones that go visit on Mother's Day. Let it be the special Mother's Day visit, Lord. And I know our hearts hurt when we're in prison and our moms come to see us on Mother's Day. Our hearts hurt. And so be with those moms as they travel, as they visit. And we just thank you, God, for sending your son to die on the cross for our salvation. And we thank you for that opportunity. Lord, if somebody doesn't know you as their personal Savior, we ask you to let this episode serve as their sign that it's time to admit, to confess in their with their mouth and believe in their heart that you died on the cross for their sins and that they need a Savior, and that they invite you into their heart, God, to live as Lord and Savior. And we just thank you once again for us not quitting this podcast and to keep going, to have the biggest impact. And we thank you for all the lives that are going to be changed because of your story through Sarah. And we thank you for doors that you're going to open down the road, and for all the growth that happens in the stillness and the patience. And we just love you, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Don't let your background hold you back.
Let it pay you back.
Come on. She did good. She paused a little too long, but that's all right. She recovered really quick. A lot of people are like, they pause. They say that, well, I paused. I didn't know if you wanted me to finish it or not. Because, Jess always does that on her episodes. So she told me, she goes, I don't really like having the guest be in charge of my saying. So one of the guys we just had on recently, I said it, and then we had to break right at the beginning, like 5 minutes in. We had to stop and do something. I don't remember what it was, but he goes, "Hey, I just want you to know I was ready to do Jess's part." I'm like, "You were?" And he goes, "Yeah, I was ready." I said, "All right, well then we'll start over and let you do it." So we did it.
Aww.
But anyway, all right, we love y'all.
Love you.
Happy Mother's Day. See you later. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Background Check Podcast, brought to you by Forgiven Felons, helping people with a past realize their future. For more information, please visit forgivenfelons.org. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and please don't forget to subscribe so you'll never miss the latest episode. I'm Jaden Gum, and this has been Background Check.